Hey guys, how you doing? It's Andy here again. Today for this little section, basically I've got a brand new piece of premium grade shoulder veg tan. So what we're going to do is I like doing belts, custom making belts, which is quite nice, and I have a cutter which I'll show you in a minute on how to use. But first thing we have to do is to get a nice straight edge on this leather. So once we do that, and then I'll show you how to set up my cutter, different widths, and then I'll show you how I cut out my blanks for the belts. So if I can just get a quick shot over here on what we're going to be using today. Any kind of hardware store, you can get these rulers. They're not too expensive, which is quite good. Use this quite a lot of times. And also, always, when you're cutting a new piece of leather, a new blade in your Stanley knife, a new blade is absolutely fantastic. Leather kind of goes through them quite fast. So always have plenty of blades to hand. Also have an L just for marking where we're going to do our cut line. And this is our cutter, which is fantastic. It's an Ivan. It has the different measurements on there, so you just adjust the screw and you can move it back and forth whatever width you want to go, and we'll show you that when we're ready to good to go. So basically this is just all the tools you need for this. Pause. Okay, basically I'm just going to kind of eyeball in it, and I'm going to use my rule to mark a line. Now I want to try and get it nice and square as I can to the rest of the leather. Now any excess is quite okay, because any excess, normally when I do like a little mystery braid wristband, it's about 3/4 of an inch that I do with. So any scrap material left over is great for using for something like that. So nothing really gets too much kind of wasted. So just kind of roughly eyeballing it. It's quite good with this floor because we've got some nice straight lines. I'm going to kind of get the ruler about there, because obviously this is the longest in the leather for doing a belt, so you need quite a bit of length. Sorry, I've got my little kind of helper here. Go on, shoot. So so when you kind of roughly can eyeball and get it right, I'm just going to kind of, with the L, I'm just going to get onto the rule, and I'm just going to slowly scribe down here. Okay, so we're now just going to try and follow that line the best we can. So that looks so there we go. I don't know if you can see that. If you kind of come in a little bit closer, you'll kind of see where the cut line is. And then we're going to be very carefully with the first kind of cut. We're not actually going through the leather. We're just lightly going to be scoring on top of the leather, because obviously I don't want to go down too far and through to the floor, because if I do, the wife will absolutely go mad. So you're going to lightly scoring on top first of all. There we go, and you can clearly see now more where I've made that first kind of nice straight line. So we're finished with the ruler now at the moment. And then what you can do then is you can just then kind of lift it off the floor, because obviously we don't want to be going through any surfaces. So then you can just You know, even with the new blade, leather's really durable and it's quite tough. So we're just going to slowly lift it off the floor, and then we're just going to kind of follow, that line. So there you go. This bit of excess, obviously we call it a bit of scrap, but that will be absolutely fantastic for using, for some mystery braid bracelets and stuff and whatnot, because they're only like 3/4 of an inch, so I'll be able to get quite a few out of that. So we'll just keep this out of the way at the moment. As I was coming to the end here, I was just getting a little bit off where I had my first line scribed, but it's okay because you can always do a little bit of trimming just to clean anything up, just to make it a bit tidier, because I'll show you in a minute as you come in to do your cutting with the strap, you don't want any uneven bits. So I'm just gonna get the little ruler again, just to kind of tidy this last little bit up. Good there, I reckon. So let's tidy that up so that the wife doesn't see that. Okay, so there we go. There we go. We've got a nice straight line now. And the only thing then you need is a thank you, Missy. All you need now is, I have an order for someone and they want a belt that's 1.5 inches wide. Now with this tool, if you have a look at this tool, you undo the screw, and then it's got like a measuring system on the bottom. So it's got centimeters on the bottom, inches on top. So I'm wanting 1.5 inches. So what I do is I just move that roughly to about the 1.5 inches. And once I'm happy where it is, you tighten the screw on top. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a blade at the very end which goes in between the wood, and it's like another like kind of razor blade which is quite sharp. So I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to double check that. I'm just going to do a little bit of a fine adjustment because it's hard trying to do it on the camera. So I'm going to get it as close as I can to 1.5, and then I'm going to tighten it. And I'm happy at 1.5 inches, okay? Now this is the fun part, okay? Now Taylor, if you can come to this side over here, and then I'm going to show you how much. So instead of like I used to use a ruler in the past to try and cut out a belt blank, but it's so hard because it was never long enough. So with this little machine, you can pop it through and you get it kind of squared up, and then once you get it going, you can have it flat against the edge of your leather where the handle is, and then you just draw down the leather then. So you just draw down, keep it nice and flush to the leather where this handle is, and you can see with hardly any pressure, I'm just slowly following it down. And there you go. Anything that we had previous before, it's quite easy to tidy this up. So So there you go. We have a 1.5 inch belt for a customer. Getting a nice straight line in the leather, and then that's you. And then from now on, you've got a lovely straight line where I just cut that first one off. And then you'll probably get about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might get about maybe 20 belts out of that. So yeah, fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the DIY using the lounge floor for marking out and getting your straight line, and using the Ivan cutter to get your nice belt blank cut out. So thank you very much.